What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NBA DFS video for Monday, October 28th. We are back with another video. Hopefully, you guys had a lot of success with the NFL, sports betting, or DFS. I want to show you one of our bets yesterday. It was tight end U. It was tight end day. It was National Tight Ends Day. We took them to score touchdowns. Evan Ingram. There was a minute left in the game. I got a little dicey. David Njoku got it. Dalton Kincaid got it pretty early. Travis Kelce got it pretty early. $15 into $1,600. If you're not with us, you're against us. Get into the Discord. Check FantasyTeamAdvisors.com out. We've got sports betting. We've got DFS as well. So you can use all of our tools to build these out as well. So we used our matchup tool to build this out. If you're not with us, maybe check us out. Now, we do have a yearly pass, normally $200. If you use the promo code NBA is back, you can get it for only $74.99. So definitely check it out. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you have not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, watch these videos until the end, and clicking on the ads helps out way more than you know. But we have giveaways every single day. 2 giveaways if we hit the goal. The first goal is you got to be a YouTube subscriber, you got to like this video, and you got to leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you've done all of that, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. 100 likes is a free month, 150 likes a free year, 200 or more likes, a chance at a lifetime pass. Now, yesterday's video, 500, almost 600 views, only 7 comments, only 32 likes. So we have the second way to have a giveaway is we say a keyword somewhere in this video. Type that keyword, and then you have a chance to win a free week. Now, we did not hit the 50 likes, so we're only going to roll the comments to see who used the promo or the keyword outlier, and that'll be the winner. Jeff CZ, I'm just going to say that. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Jeff, congratulations. Please email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will give you, and let me know a username and password, or username and email you would like on the site, and we'll get you set up. So congratulations. As always, these videos are sponsored by Outlier.Bet. We love Outlier.Bet because we can go through and we look at all the Vegas odds. We can look at everything. So we're going to hopefully make this video a little bit quicker than what you're used to, but we're going to go through the Vegas odds for these 9 games on the main slate. Then we're going to talk about our article. So our article, we go, when there's at least 5 games, we go 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position, and we give you the projected fantasy points of those. We've got that in the article too. So we're looking at the Pacers at the Magic being a 5.5 point favorite, 224.5 over under. As you can see, the Orlando Magic have only gotten this one time in the last 9 games of 224. So definitely it is a very helpful statistic when you're building around. You got Detroit Pistons at Miami Heat. The Heat are an 8.5 point favorite, and you can see over under 220.5. They've only hit it one time in the last 10 games, and they have 9 straight games of under 220.5. You got Cavs versus Knicks. Knicks only being a 2.5 point favorite. Got a 222.5 over under. Nuggets Raptors. Nuggets being an 8.5 point favorite. They've hit it pretty well, 220.5. Then you got the Bucks and the Celtics. Could be a shootout. I love both sides of this. Boston's still a 9.5 point favorite, but it's got a 233.5 over under. They haven't hit it very often, but this could be a shootout here if everybody's healthy in this game. Washington and Atlanta. Atlanta being a 7.5 point favorite, 231.5 over under. You got Houston at San Antonio. Houston being a 2.5 point favorite, 221.5. Bulls at Memphis. Memphis actually being a 7.5 point favorite. This could be a bad game. Still has a 233.5 over under. Utah at the Mavs. Looking at that, you've got Dallas being a 10.5 point favorite, which scares me a little bit with Luka, but a 233.5 over under. And then Portland at Sacramento. Sacramento being a 12.5 point favorite. Be on the lookout for a shootout. Also be on the lookout for a blowout that we could have some of our guys sit. 226.5 over under. And then the Lakers at the Suns. Suns being a 2.5 point favorite. 226.5 over under. So if you want to check out Outlier, you want to check out what we've done, you want to check out everything, the link is down below in the description. Sign up for 7 free days. If after those 7 days you go with the normal package, we're going to give you a free week, or free month of FTA Plus. If you go with their pro package, we're going to give you 3 free months of FTA Plus. So definitely check that out. So here we go. We are going to dig in. We are going to look at the article. You can find the article down below. Clicking on it helps us out as well. Then at the end, we're going to build one DraftKings and one FanDuel lineup, a starting point for you guys. So stick around for that. The chapters are here as well to help you guide through. So we're looking at point guard. As long as there's no blowouts, huge blowouts, I still like Luka here, 55 fantasy points. Got Trae Young at 46 and Damian Lillard at 44. Mid-tier picks, Fred VanVleet at 37, Jordan Poole 36, and Kyrie Irving 35. And then some point guard value picks, Jalen Suggs 26, Marcus Smart 26, and Andrew Nembhard at 23. Now, these are not the only plays that we like. These are some that I've pulled from the player projections. So make sure you check out those player projections. Then we go to shooting guard. Donovan Mitchell at 43, Jaylen Brown 40, Desmond Bane 36. Got Colin Sexton at 29, Klay Thompson 29, and Jordan Clarkson 27. Grady Dick 24, Dyson Daniels 24, and Davion Mitchell 23 to round out the value plays right now at shooting guard. Now, some of these value plays will change throughout the day. We still got a lot of questionable guys, game time decision guys that we are waiting on. So that is what will bump up the different value plays throughout the day. Moving to the small forward, you got Jason Tatum at 48 fantasy points, Jaylen Brown at 40, Jimmy Butler at 38. Mid-tier, we got Michael Bridges at 29, Amen Thompson 29, Keldon Johnson 27, and then some value picks at small forward, Harrison Barnes 22, Dylan Brooks 22, and Christian Braun about 21 fantasy points. Moving to the power forward position, Giannis Antetokounmpo at 55 fantasy points, Scotty Barnes 43, Paolo Banchero 43. I absolutely love Giannis today. I love Giannis today. We've got all the big names out there today. Mid-tier, Evan Mobley 38, Jalen Johnson 38, and Lauri Markkanen at 37. And then some value picks at power forward. You got Santi Aldama at 27, Al Horford 26, and Patrick Williams at 25. Moving to the center position tonight, Nikola Jokic at 55. We got Wemby at 52. We got Sengun at 43. Mid-tier, we got Jarrett Allen at 37, Bam Adebayo at 37, and Jalen Duren at 32. And then value picks at center tonight, Brook Lopez 28, John Collins 27, and Walker Kessler at 25 fantasy points. Now, clicking on the ads on the articles and the videos helps us out so much you guys don't understand. If you want to help the channel out, you can do it that way as well. So, that being said, using Outlier, using our statistics, using our matchup tool that I have on this sheet or on this screen, we are going to build a lineup or two using some of the plays. So let's start with DraftKings. Okay. I think I want to go with Giannis. I got to get Giannis in here. I'm going to put him at utility because that's where I want to start him with. I do want to get some Tatum in this lineup in a game that I think could be close. So I want to stick with that a little bit. One of the Ball brothers, not the good one, but the mid one, Lonzo Ball. Game log, he hasn't done much, but this can update. He's not averaging many points per game, but we will update this lineup a little bit throughout the day. But if for value as of now, I don't mind Lonzo Ball. Corey Kispert's another one that we've been talking about a few times. Atlanta being most likely going to blow them out. Washington playing from behind. He's still getting 25-plus minutes a game. I don't mind Corey Kispert there at all. We're still at 4,900 the rest of the way. So power forward in that same sense of a blowout, even though actually the Memphis Grizzlies are projected to a 2.5 point spread, I don't mind LaRavia here at 3,900. Now this is one of those GPP, and this is not the only lineup. If you want to see optimal lineups, we've got them on the website, but this is a way to build a lineup there. Steven Adams, I'm kind of waiting on. He's questionable. Game time decision, then he was held out of Saturday's game. Has not played this year yet. I'm probably going to stay away from him and go a different direction in this one. So let's just say, for instance, that Steven Adams is, in fact, going to be out. We can go in a different direction. Let me pause. I'm getting a phone call real quick. You know what? We're going to change it up. Sorry. Got a phone call. It distracted me. But we are back. So I'm going to get rid of Ball. I don't trust him. Let's just start over. Let's start over completely. Let's clear this out. Let's build one with plays that we have already talked about. Nimhard is there. Got him at 4,600. He is in a cheap spot there. Jordan Clarkson is another one. We didn't talk about it in the video, but I've got him there, and he is averaging 25 fantasy points per game. Again, I understand it's very early in the season. Josh Hart has a questionable tag, but he's played in the first 2 games, put up almost 40 points against Indy. They have a high-paced game. I like this matchup here against Cleveland if he plays. If not, obviously this is where you will update your lineup. Sorry, Jake LaRavia there, a cheaper option at power forward. Center position, Raquan Holmes. Now, he's a very cheap option. I don't know if he's going to be playing. That's the thing. So if we look at him, now we're going to get off him. Let's get off him real quick. Trying to find some value picks here as well. Using the matchup tool. So the matchup tool we are using, it's statistics from last year because we only have like 3 games, give or take 3 games from the players that are here. So that's kind of where we're a little bit off. So I'm going to get rid of, I don't know, I'm going to get rid of right there. I'm going to go Nimhard. And this is why I like you guys watching, because this is like the thought process that I'm looking. So we got one of the Champagne brothers here. We've got him in there. We're going to drop him in there. So power forward, I think you want to get Giannis in there in that matchup. That feels really good. I think we can get Jokic in here because we're finding those value plays. This is one more of a boomer bust play, but Scottie Pippen Jr. Again, though, you can see game 1, game 2, and game 3. He's only like against Orlando, and the minutes is what's crazy. He's playing 23 to 24 minutes, 40 plus fantasy points. He was 4,200, went for almost 10 times value. It's exactly what you need in a lineup like this. A boomer bust lineup, you need those cheap guys that can get you the 8 times value there. And I think we could get one with our main man Sal here. And then we're at 3,900 for a utility spot. Now being at 3,900, it really just depends on what you think you can get through there. But with utility, if we come down to 3,900, and if you want to use the whole, you could go LaRavia, Thomas Bryant, the minutes, it just depends. The minutes have fluctuated in the first 2 games. I'm a little bit scared about that. Yeah. He could be one there. You could look at Cameron Payne a little bit. Game log wise, you got 20 plus minutes out of him, and a matchup here against Cleveland that we can see. If you look at the matchup Cleveland wise, again, there's not much statistics to go off of, but ranked against a 3-pointer, ranked against total, it just depends on rebound, scoring. They're pretty good against scoring. So I think I'm going to go LaRavia as well. Now, this is just one lineup. This is just one way to build, not necessarily the only lineup to do. It's kind of how we are when we build around there. These are starting points. We've got to wait. As you saw, there was a lot of people that were possibly questionable, game time decision, or they are questionable and game time decision and have not played this year. So you just never know. But if we do go off of like the statistics on the year from last year, because again, I understand the teams have moved, but like pace of play and stuff like that kind of stick around a little bit. But if we look at this, San Antonio last year was the worst against the point guard. They gave up an average of 55.2 fantasy points per game. So Fred VanVleet is in a good spot there. So we will put him in there. We'll plug him in there. We'll just go every other position, and then we'll see how much money we've got left to build. The Washington Wizards were very bad on offense and defense last year. It's the same thing. They're very bad. So if we look at that, for instance, Atlanta, Dyson Daniels at 6,900. Is more expensive on Fanduel than DraftKings, but I got to get him in there as well. Then we look at the small forward position from last year. If we can look at that, we're waiting for a little bit of news, which I cannot wait to get. But Utah gave up the most, which that would make it Dallas for small forward. So we could look at Klay Thompson, who just had buckets the other night. Opening night, 7 rebounds, 22 points. He's almost had 20 points in both games. I like him for his price at $6,600. Then we move to the power forward position. If we look at the power forward position, Utah and Washington both were very bad last year. Utah goes up against Dallas for power forward, and then Washington goes up against Atlanta. So we could be looking at Jalen Johnson, or we could be looking for Dallas. PJ Washington would be a cheap option. Game log wise, the minutes, they've been there. The minutes have been there. Not so much the fantasy points, but the minutes have been there if you're building at 5,400. So you could go Jalen Johnson and maybe you go PJ Washington to save a little bit of money. So at center position, you got Jokic, you got Wembanyama, you've got Anthony Davis. I think I want to go Jokic here. So if I put him in there, we're averaging 4,600 the rest of the way for a point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. So point guard in this one, and let's say we're about 4,500, 4,600. Cameron Payne made sense earlier. We could look at him at 4,200. Carlton Carrington, we've used him. He's come through at 4,300. I'm going to put him in there. Now we're at 4,800 for one shooting guard and one small forward. So if we look at shooting guard, rank-wise, Washington, Utah, Atlanta were all bad last year. So if we were to go Washington, Utah, and Atlanta, if we were to go Washington, shooting guard, and you don't want to pay up for Jordan Poole, you go down to Keshawn George at 4,000. Game log-wise, he's actually been pretty decent. So we can get him in there. Now we're at 5,700 for a small forward. Now small forward-wise, Corey Kispert we could look at. The other Champagne brother we could look at. He's 3,500. He's only played one game. Hasn't done much. David Roddy, we look at him. Did not play the first 2 games, but played 19 minutes against OKC. You could build around there. That's pretty much the only spot we can go in. So Corey Kispert, I don't mind Corey Kispert. If you look at him game log-wise, not a ton, but he is playing the minutes. This could be a matchup for him. So there you go. That is a FanDuel lineup, DraftKings lineup. We've left 1,100 on the table. So where could we go through and put up that 1,100? Could we go get rid of Carrington? Go point guard and 5,400 for a point guard? Nope, you can't. So we can't go there. For power forward, if we took out if we took out Keshawn George for shooting guard, we're at 4,000. Nope, that's where you're at. Corey Kispert didn't really make sense. We couldn't do it because if you went through there for small forward, you've got Bogdanovich, but we can't do anything about that. So Jalen Johnson, PJ Washington. So if we were to take PJ Washington out and you were to go to power forward, you could do Okongwu at 6,100. It's got a great matchup there. Alex Sarr would be a great matchup there. I think I'm going to go Okongwu there. So there you go. That is just one way to build a lineup, both FanDuel, DraftKings. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The key word for today, if you're still listening, is water. So I wanted to see if people would listen to the end, and maybe you did, and maybe you're still here. So good luck today, and as always, let's bring up some bacon. Peace.